Archana, you've been using legal approaches to tackle modern slavery in Southeast Asia for many years. How does strategic litigation fit into this work? And to what extent do groups based in the region see strategic litigation as a way to secure accountability for modern slavery?
I mean, Nick, in the context of corporate legal accountability, the use of strategic litigation in Southeast Asia is fairly scarce and patchy at best. And there are a number of reasons for this that are really important to understand and explore. Firstly, local groups often operate under the use of threats, intimidation, reprisals, real pressure from corporate actors in order to drop cases. The prolific use of criminal defamation lawsuits is also one of the reasons why not many of these actions will see the light of day. There is a really strong perception on the part of local groups, lawyers, and NGOs that the pressures and needs to deliver time and resource efficient solutions for beneficiary groups is often at odds with the long-term play, the sort of resources that are involved in running a strategic litigation matter. And when it comes to transnational cases, seeking corporate accountability across supply chains is often hampered by a number of issues. Some of these are difficulties on the ground with identification of fact patterns, difficulty with identifying correct jurisdictions to approach in order to bring a case, how to evolve a course of action, how to do supply chain due diligence and investigations in order to even ascertain what the parameters of building a course of action will be. In many of the jurisdictions, there are extremely strong procedural rules around litigation funding. So this is prohibited, which also is a real issue. However, I'd like to say that the recent CBP action in Malaysia and the triumphs that we've seen in the environmental and community rights movements suggests that there are lessons that can be learned by the modern slavery movement. In particular, the sugar.
Can I just interrupt? The CBP, was that the Top Gloves case, the imports of gloves into the US?
That's right, yes.
Right.
Also, in the environmental and community rights movement, the Metropole sugar case, the investigation by the Philippines Human Rights Commission into the 46, 47 oil companies, all of those, present lessons that can be learned and transferred across, because we are seeing very little collaborative work or crossover action between these two movements. And there's definitely much more that can be leveraged. And following the CBP action in Malaysia, for example, it was very interesting to see local groups and local NGOs get really enthused about, doing a lot more in this space. So I think the interest is peaking. It's a question of finding the opportunities and leveraging on these in order to do more.
Great. Thanks, Archana. That's really helpful.